Hello?
Hi, this is Randy.
Yep.
Hey, Randy, this is Tommy Bryson. Just want to let you know this call is going to be recorded and potentially uploaded to YouTube. How can I help you?
Are you recording this?
Yeah, this is a recorded call. This is a recorded call.
Oh. Oh, how you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. How can I help you?
Oh, yeah. I just want to talk about create credit at the
Okay.
States and how to get my first house, like a first buyer house.
Okay. So where do you live right now? How old are you?
The R right now, and I'm 23.
So you're 23 years old and you live in DR.
Yeah.
And can you travel to the U.S. or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So you plan to buy a property in the U.S. or you plan to buy a property in Dominican Republic?
The US.
All right. So can you build credit in the U.S. also? Are you a resident here? Do you have like a credit card here and all that stuff?
Yeah, yeah. I have a debit card right there.
Okay.
Yeah, and some people told me about to get first security credit card.
Do you have a social security number and also like all that stuff? You have all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right, so awesome. So all right, so let's answer the first question. Tell me, how do I build credit? And I'm guessing the reason you want to build credit is to go ahead and buy a house, right?
Yes, and so get a car and some because I'm finishing school right now,
Okay.
and when I'm done, I'm thinking about getting there to live.
Okay. All right. So the first thing is this, right? You don't need credit to buy a house, but if you want to make it more easier, it is also like a possibility, right? Now, the way I personally build credit, the fast way, is called the one bill method. And it basically means you get a credit card, one or two, and you put a small bill on it, for example, like Spotify or Apple Music or Netflix or like your phone bill or your internet bill, right? Put a small bill on each credit card and then you set it to auto pay every so month. Now, what this does is basically you're targeting two things: utilization, meaning you want to keep your balance very low, and it will be low because basically you just have one bill on it, and also your payment history, which will always be perfect. It's basically you're having that credit card pay itself off every single month in full. So that way you never pay interest, you're not gonna go into crazy debt, and you still get what you want, which is basically just to build credit. That's all it is. Now, as far as your credit card, if you don't have any credit, I'll probably recommend, for example, the Capital One Secure Card and also the Discover Secure Card. But I recommend first you apply for the Capital One first. It's a lot easier. If you get accepted, then apply, for example, for the Discover one. Now, the trick is this, right? The Discover one can be upgraded to a normal credit card. The Capital One cannot. So it's probably going to be, for example, a temporary credit card. And once you build enough credit, you can basically just get a normal Capital One card and then basically get back your deposit. Does that make sense?
Yes, I already have debit card in the US as I said, and on this bank, Bank of America, and using my card, they offer me to get a credit card. So it's the
Okay.
same. It's the same as I get a security credit card
I
at the
mean,
Capital.
if you're already getting an offer to get a credit card, you can do it with that if you want to. But the method is still the same. Whether you get a Discover credit card or Bank of America credit card, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you just put one small bill on it and you put it to auto pay every month. And once you get the credit card, Randy, in the mail, I would like you to cut the credit card. That way you're not tempted to go ahead and use it for anything else. The goal is to build credit. The goal is not to build debt. There's a difference.
Yes.
Now, the second question is this, right? Tell me, how would I go about buying my very first house? Now, wait, before I even answer that, right? You told me also you want to use credit to buy a car. Tell me about that.
Yeah, to get my lower down payment. I
On a
heard
car?
yeah, yeah. I heard if you get a good credit, it's more
Mm-hmm.
easier to get like a newer uh car
Mm-hmm.
and get it from a lower down payment.
Okay. What's your income right now? Do you have any?
Yes. My income in dollars is like 1,300, something like that.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, let me ask you a question. In Dominican Republic, are you living with your parents? Are you in your own house? You're in an apartment? How are you doing over there?
No, no, I'm living with parents.
Okay, so that means basically you don't have that much expenses, right?
No, yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, let's say for example, when are you coming back to the US?
I think by the end of 2021.
Okay, so now between 2021, we're on month 4 right now, I think. So 4 minus 12 is 8. So we're talking about 8 months. So if you saved up at least $1,000 a month, that means you would have around 8K, right, by that time. Now, could you buy a car for cash for $8,000? Yes or no?
Like right now?
No, in 8 months, or like, yeah, in 8 months, right? If you save $1,000 in 8 months, right? For 8 months, you'll have $8,000 saved up because basically you don't have that many expenses in DR. And by the way, DR is very cheap to actually live in, especially if you're not
Yeah.
spending money. So what I'm telling you is basically, if you take from today, from April until December, until you come back to the US, and you save, for example, 1K, could you buy a car for $8,000 in the US? That's the question.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So the bad thing is, okay, right? You build credit, you get a car, right? So that's gonna be, for example, you maybe get like a car is like maybe 20,000, 25,000, maybe 30,000, depending on what to give you. But now you have a car payment of around $500 to $700, and also once you drive that car off the lot, it's worth 10% less. In 3 to 5 years, it's worth half the amount of money you actually paid for it, right? So the goal is usually you don't want to finance a car, never. You don't want to buy a new car, never, until basically you can actually afford one, like in cash. But overall, I would recommend save up the money you need to buy a car, a used car, for cash. Just make sure it's a certified used car, or get it checked out by a mechanic. That way you know the car is actually good in running condition. Get a 3 to 5 year old model, and that way you can save a ton of money. Now that means if my name is Randy and I bought this car for cash, it means, hey, I don't have any payments except, for example, my maintenance, my gas, and also my insurance. But that's it, right? You don't want to add payments to yourself. Getting credit is cool, but you don't want to use credit to buy a liability. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's what I recommend as far as a car. So don't buy a new car, don't finance a car. You go out there, you buy a used car by saving up the money right now, start today, and then by the time you basically get to December, you have that money saved up. So when you come back to the US, you can go ahead and buy that used car for a really good price. And by the way, $5,000 to $8,000 gets you a really nice used car.
Yes. Yes.
All right, so now the third question is, Tommy, well, I want to buy my first house. Now, the answer is, right, you are literally 23 years old, right? And I'm guessing by the time you actually buy this house, if you're trying to buy it, like, by the way, are you about to graduate from college, something like that?
Huh?
Are you about to graduate from college?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you studying?
Business administration.
Okay. How far along are you?
Yeah, like 2 semester to end.
To end. Okay, and do you have any jobs lined up? Any internships or anything like that?
Any what?
Any jobs lined up or any internships?
Like
Do you have
right
any?
now or
No, do you have any, like, okay, like, I'm about to graduate. Have you spoken to a company so they can go ahead and hire you? Do you have any jobs waiting for you so when you graduate?
no, no, no.
Okay, and do you have any student loan debt?
Well, what is it about? Like the loans?
Yeah, student loan debt. Like, did you borrow money to go to school?
Oh, no, no.
So you're student loan debt free, basically. You have no debt whatsoever.
No, yes.
All right, so
And
here's the thing,
okay,
right?
I have right now I have a car right here in DR,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and I'm thinking about like to sell it to get that's the case, get my credit like right now, and when I get to the US, like it's more easier to get my house, my first house.
All right, so here's the thing, right? If you do want to buy a house, you have to have, for example, like 2 years worth of a decent income to prove that basically or like 1 year, like you're actually going to be able to buy this house, right? You have to prove to the bank, hey, I make enough money to actually be able to buy this house. Now, the problem with business administration is that usually the job you're gonna get, you're probably not gonna be able to get a really good job because basically it's way too broad and not narrow enough. So like it's not like finance or accountant is like a lot more broader. It's gonna be harder to get a job. Now, once you do land a job, the idea is probably the best source is gonna be like, hey, let me rent for a while and let me save up around 20% down payment for the house I want to buy, right? Now, by the way, you're 23 years old. You don't have to buy a house right now. It's fine. I'm not gonna buy a house right now either. But if you do want to buy a house, you have like house fever, it's fine. Just make sure, for example, when it comes to buying a house, you follow, for example, the 33% rule, the 33% rule. That means, for example, when you're going out there and buying a house, make sure the house is payments, is maintenance, is taxes, insurance, everything included. All the expenses do not exceed more than 33% of your monthly income on a 15-year mortgage. Now, what state do you live in? Where you gonna come to live here? What state are you gonna live in?
I'm thinking about Jersey because I have my family there. But if
Okay.
I have money enough, I want to live on Tampa.
Okay, yeah, Tampa's pretty cool. Houses are pretty like a lot lower, but also jobs are a lot, like pay a lot less, right? The problem that I'm scared of is basically your degree, right? If you can land a job that pays you 40 to 50K, awesome. If you can't, most likely you're going to have to get a skill that's actually narrow enough to earn you more money, which is either into finance or into accounting, whatever you want to do, but a skill is actually going to pay you enough money. That's the overall goal. And by the way, are you doing business management online from the US, or like are you going to school in Dominican Republic? Like in a Dominican Republic college?
Can you repeat it?
Are you your degree, is it coming from a Dominican Republic college or from a US college?
Nah, Dominican Republic College. But
Okay.
it has association with a college on New York or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take an exam to get the degree also in the U.S.
Okay. And would it be do they have like a finance course in that college, or like maybe like a an accounting course, something like that in that college also?
Yeah.
Okay. My advice would be this, right? If I were you, because if you come to the US, it's probably gonna be more expensive, right? If you can come here and get a job with a degree, great, you can earn money. But if you come here and you can't get a job, most likely, I would go back and get a degree because it's probably gonna be a lot cheaper because basically you have no loans right now, which is awesome, by the way. So you can get a degree, like a master's degree in maybe like finance, or for example, something that's actually more direct. Look it up on the labor statistics, something that's actually going to pay you money, you're good at, you enjoy it, and it's also going to be something you're actually good at, right? That's your overall idea. So if you can find a skill to land you a really good job, once you come to the US and you follow those rules, you'll be fine. But what I don't want you to do is say, hey, I'm going to come to the US, I'm going to build my credit, I'm going to buy this car, I'm going to finance this, now I have $500 going towards this car. I'm going to buy this house. That's going to be half of my income. So now you have half your income going to this house. And you also have expenses and everything. And before you know it, you're living paycheck to paycheck. That's not what I want for you. But if you buy a car for cash, if you buy a house using the 15-year mortgage, 33% rule principle, you'll be a lot better off. And if you can find a good job, you'll have a lot of extra money to go ahead and also start investing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But most
So
likely, if I'm being honest, Randy, you're not gonna be able to buy a house like next year, or maybe the year after
I know
that.
that. Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
So the best case is get a like credit card right now. So in the 2 or 3 years to end my next degree. So
Yeah. I mean, if you do get, if now, I wouldn't just go into like get a degree right now, right? But I would try to go to the U.S. Be like, hey, can I find a job that pays me a lot of money with this degree? When I say a lot of money, I mean anywhere from like 40 to 50, 60K. That's a decent amount of money, right? That's what I'm saying. If you can find a job that pays you that much money with your degree, awesome. Now, the big thing is this, right, Randy? People say, oh, I want to build credit to get a house. When a bank looks at you, they can do something called manual underwriting. Meaning, for example, they can look at your pay stubs, how much money you make, how much money you owe, and all that stuff, and tell you, hey, we can qualify you for this house even if you don't have a credit score. It does not matter. You don't need a credit score, okay? That's not important. But if you want to make it a lot more easier and have more options with different banks, that's fine. If you want to do like the one bill method, that's fine. But it's not really like the most important thing. Most important thing is going to be your income. So you got to find either the skill or a job in the US here to actually land you a decent amount of money.
No, okay.
All right, brother. You have any more questions?
Yes, and you telling me this? I have like a situation, like in
Okay.
your so to get like my plan is to get into real estate, but here in the DR you have like to pay 30 or 40 down, 40% of down payment to get a house or an apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And in the US, you only have to put like 3 or 10% down.
Okay. And by the way, when I say a 30% rule, I also recommend you put down a 10 to 20% down payment. The goal is to own a house, not to
Yeah.
like finance a house for like 30 years. That's why I say 15 years.
Okay. So
Yeah.
here it's more difficult to get a house.
I'm
Okay.
aware. And the
But
interest rates are higher.
huh?
And the interest rates are higher, right? The interest rates are
Yeah,
higher.
yeah, really hard.
Okay.
And yeah, and that's why I want to get out of here to get like more easier to get into real
Mm-hmm.
estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So here would be my advice, right? If I lived in DR and I found a college that can transfer my credits over to the US and I can graduate basically debt free, I would focus all my everything on that and saving up money so when I come to the US I have money. Now, if you buy a home right now, for example, in the US, I mean in the Dominican Republic, right? The idea is that the rents are not be that high. I understand those rents and expenses, right? It's not gonna be that high. So now you have, for example, some money locked up in Dominican Republic. You're not there. You can't take care of the property yourself unless you have like a property management company over there. But my recommendation would be like, hey, let me just focus, for example, on getting this either a degree or getting a job in the US. Just focus on that. When you're ready to get into real estate, the first real estate you're probably gonna own is gonna be like your first property, like your own property, right, Randy? Like where
Yeah.
you're gonna be living at. Once you pay that off, that means your expenses are a lot lower because basically all you have to worry about is basically taxes and insurance, and that's it, right? No, nothing crazy no more. No crazy mortgage, no renting, no nothing. Now, what you'll have is, for example, a lot more income. With that income, then if you want to buy rental properties, you can if you want to, right? You can buy a rental property, you put down 10, 20% on it, you rent it out, you try to pay it off. Once it's paid off, you move on to the next one, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. But this way, you don't carry that much risk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but take your time, bro. You're super young. You're about to finish your career. Before you go and get like another degree, just try to come to the US and also ask your college if they can help you find a job. If you can find a job that pays you more than 40K, that's great. That's perfect. I'm guessing when you come here, are you going to stay with family in New Jersey?
Yes.
Yes, if you can stay with family in New Jersey for a while, that gives you, for example, okay, let me just settle myself here. I got a job here. Let me go ahead and buy my car for cash. I got that, okay, taken care of. I can transport myself anywhere I want to. Then save up money for emergencies, right? When you have emergency funding there, great. Then what you want to do next is basically, if I want to buy a house, or you might have to move and rent, that's fine. It depends on the living situation. But if you want to buy a house, save up for the down payment. Once you have between 10 to 20%, you buy that house using, for example, the 33% rule, and you try to pay it off early and also start investing at the same time into retirement, right? So by the time you're done with that house, you also have, for example, a large amount of money in the stock market also. So
Oh, yeah.
usually, yeah, so usually it would be like, for example, 10 to 25% in the stock market, and then the rest of the money is going to be going towards the house. That's the idea. But try your best, right? The big problem in the US, Randy, is basically people get into a crazy amount of debt. And it always starts with a little car here, a crazy house, a credit card. Those are all the entrances to a lot of debt. Okay, so you want to be very, very careful with that. That's why I tell you, if you want to build credit, just cut the credit card. But even then, you don't even need credit to buy a home. It's just something to say. But they do manual underwriting and they judge you based on your income and all that stuff and tell you, hey, we'll lend you we'll give you the money for the house at an appropriate rate.
Oh, okay. Thank you, man.
All right, brother. Any more questions, Randy?
Nah, I appreciate your time.
All right, brother. Gracias, ahorita. Ya tú sabes.
Gracias, dime, cuídate.
All right, brother. Have fun. Peace.
Yes.
All right, guys. So right there, that was Randy. And by the way, the guy is in the Dominican Republic. Shout out to him. I'm also Dominican. And the overall idea is that, by the way, that's awesome, right? You go to college in DR, basically almost for a very low amount, but you can come to the US, use a degree over here, and that's awesome, right? Come to New Jersey, but the big goal is, Tommy, I want to build credit, right? Credit, 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 credit. What do you want to do with it? I want to buy a car, right? Bad, not good at all. Then I want to go ahead, for example, buy a big house, whatever it is, right? Bad also. You got to get yourself under control, understand exactly what you want to do, because basically the traps are out there, but people don't know they're traps. So the first thing you do is, well, I'm going to come to the US, I'm going to borrow money here and here and here and here. And before you know it, you're trapped. And that's not what I want for anyone. Imagine coming to the US debt-free and with a 40 to 50K job, right? That's awesome, right? And then boom, you start trapping yourself just like that. That's not what I want for Randy or for you. So overall, the idea is, Randy, take things step by step. This guy is 23 years old and has so many plans, and that is awesome, okay? But just take it step by step. Don't rush anything. Don't hear, oh, 3.5% down payment. I'm definitely gonna do that. Oh, 20% down for this car. I'm definitely gonna do that, right? No, just take your time and take it easy and play your game. Don't play the bank's game or society's game. That's the big thing right there. Now, guys, if you want to join me on my next call, link down below. Join me, schedule a call. I'll call you one-on-one Monday to Friday. All calls are free. Don't worry about it, okay? You're not going to get charged money. And they're also 30 minutes, okay? I'll see you guys next time. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And if you guys want to join me on my main channel, I post there every single day, Tommy Bryson. And also on my second channel called The Tommy Bryson Show, where I also post there every single day, okay? I'll see you. By the way, also follow me on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. See you guys tomorrow. And as always, peace.